Chairman Green, please welcome to the program. Thank you for participating, and we welcome your welcome remarks.
Yeah, thanks for having me. You know, just last month, in the span of about a week, we had two phenomenon happen. We had a State of the Union, and we had a Chinese balloon traverse the United States. One of those is filled with hot air and a threat to national security. The other was shot down over the waters of South Carolina. It's great to be on a panel with the senator. He's one of our most conservative and thoughtful pro-American senators in the Senate, and it's good to see you again, sir. And of course, the governor of Mississippi. I grew up in that great state, love it, and was just there. Proud to be on a panel with you, sir.
Welcome home.
Yeah, it's. And speaking of Mississippi, you know, I left there when I was 17 and went to West Point to take the oath to defend this country at 17 against all enemies, foreign and domestic. I served 24 years in the Army, 2 trips to Iraq, 1 to Afghanistan. I've been studying the threats to the United States pretty much all my life. And when you think of the threats to the nation, you think of them in a spectrum between safety and stability and sovereignty. The greatest threat to the safety, stability, and sovereignty of the United States is the Chinese Communist Party. Absolutely, hands down. And it's, interestingly, not China, not the people of China. I think Gordon will share this. They're under a huge threat from the CCP, but it's the CCP. And we have some serious issues confronting us. At the 100,000-foot view, Xi Jinping sort of blends this unique perspective of communism in the Middle Kingdom concept, where surrounding the China and concentric layers are countries that pay tribute to the kingdom at the center. And that has produced this very interesting, I wouldn't say chess piece, it's more like their game of Wei Qi, we go, pinning the United States, small moves to encircle through a lot of different mechanisms to basically, as Sun Tzu would say, win the war without firing a shot. And we have been asleep at the wheel during this process, and we're in a very difficult situation now. They are basically critical to their strategy, I think. A couple of different things I want to talk about, but primarily is the capturing of our alliances. When you think of it from their perspective historically, when you think of it from the perspective of world order, go back to Westphalia, 1642, the Peace of Westphalia. Look at what happens every time there's a major conflict. The nations are exhausted by war. They come together and create treaties. That's the legitimacy phase, I call it, basically to this thing called a polarity cycle. And everybody's equal. It's a multipolar world. Very quickly, we go into balance of power. Nations vie against one another. And before long, the weak start aligning with the strong. And you drift into a bipolar world order, and war happens. So we're in the phase of competing for those alliances. China gets that. And with the Belt and Road Initiative, they have taken our alliances from us. You can take it down on a sort of operational scale, so that's at the strategic level. Take it down on the operational scale. They use deception and disinformation, which is really pertinent to my committee, Homeland Security, because of course, we have CISA, our cybersecurity efforts, protect the homeland that way, and we have our southern border. And on our southern border, 13,000 Chinese nationals have crossed under this president. Think about that. I had a whistleblower call me the other day. 25 to 30 Chinese nationals associated with the CCP are released every day in that one sector into the United States. Forget the balloon. What are those people here to do? And they're in our country. If we were to engage in Taiwan, what would those individuals do? Well, they disrupt. The disinformation campaigns, whether it's in Hollywood taking over the movie theater and trying to drive the message of China is okay, the Confucius Institutes, China is making move after move after move And we sit, as the senator said, becoming weaker and weaker and weaker. Now, there's a long list of what we need to do, and hopefully we'll get into that in the questions. But this is the challenge that faces us, and it is the greatest threat to our safety, our stability, and our sovereignty. We must rise to the occasion.